Good morning.
When I was a student at Morehouse College, our president, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, he used to challenge the young men of Morehouse. And I will never forget when he said, "Let it be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goals. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach for." He said, "It's not a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity to have no dreams." I know that I speak on behalf of all of you, the thousands of people that we have met across this country with this tour, the over 30 events that I have personally participated in to keep people inspired. Our number one goal is to take back control of the House of Representatives in November. That's our goal. And we are well on our way to achieving that goal. Now, we also have a dream, and that is to dismiss the present occupant of the White House. That's it. So we got a goal and a dream. And that's what inspires us to keep doing what we're doing. We are well on our way, but it's not over. Don't get complacent because you hear the political analysts talking about we're going to pick up X number of seats. Not if we sit down and take for granted. And the other thing that we are going to do, Tim alluded to this. November 2nd is the first goal that we're going to achieve if we keep working. But on November 3rd, we continue to hold them accountable. That's what we hadn't done in the past. And so this same organizational structure, this same enthusiasm that you see now is going to continue on November the 3rd to hold them accountable. Like Tim said, doesn't matter who's in office, but we kind of feel like we want a certain group to be in charge. They're called conservatives. Yes. And so we're going to have to hold them accountable. There are three things that I want to encourage you to do so we can keep this movement, this enthusiasm going. I call it a citizens movement that's going on across the country because a lot of organizations are involved in what we are seeing. Now, the people in D.C., both parties, they don't get it yet. So they're going to have to get it on November 2nd when you send a very strong message. But there are three things that we need to do because I get people who call my radio show every night and I get a lot of the same questions. They said, "Well, what do we need to do?" I said, "Well, first we've got to stay united. We are united in our hearts. We are united in our beliefs. We are united in what America ought to be, not what they are trying to turn it into. So we have to remain united. When the president criticizes people around this country and across this nation for holding on to their guns and their Bibles, well, guess what? I'm a gun and Bible holding person myself. What's wrong with that?" Joe DePlummer is a friend of mine, and we've done some speaking on some programs together. And when we were up in New Hampshire recently, Joe DePlummer says, "Let me tell you how I feel about the Second Amendment, gun rights." He says, "I've got 8 guns, and that's not enough. That's my belief relative to the Second Amendment." But we got to stay united because the only weapon they have is to try to demean us, to try to intimidate people, to try to get people, "Don't go to those Tea Party events. You mean you went to one of those rallies?" They're trying to divide us. They're trying to discourage us from coming out to things like this. Well, we got to stay united. Stay united. Secondly, we got to stay informed. Know the facts, know what we're talking about, so when you do get into a discussion with a liberal that would listen, then you'll have your facts. You'll have your knowledge. Tim mentioned that if Congress does nothing, tax rates are going to go up on everybody. He also mentioned about, they keep saying, well, we're only going to let the tax rates expire for the rich. Let me tell you two things that they're not telling you. capital gains goes from 15% to 20% on everybody. Is that preserving it for the middle class? And if you get dividends off of some of your savings and investment, did you know that when the tax rates were passed in 2000, dividends were classified as capital gains, 15% rate. If they do nothing, and you haven't heard this, taxes on dividends goes back from 15% to 39.5%. They're not telling you that, are they? Because they don't want you to know that. We have to stay informed. And that's why you come to events like this. This is why America's Prosperity holds workshops and disseminates information, and the women organization. All of these organizations you see here, we all have the same objectives, and that is to basically take back our government, because this is what it is, because it's been hijacked by liberals, and we are going to simply take it back. Stay inspired. Stay inspired. You know, Brent Bozell, who heads up the Media Research Center, he said it best. I heard him say this a couple of days ago on a Fox program. The only thing that the left has left is name calling. They can't brag about their legislative accomplishments. They can't brag about how well this spending non-stimulus bill is working. So it's all about name calling, character assassination. I have been called so many names on the radio that I started a list that I put on the wall in my studio. But because I thought they had called me everything except the child of God, but they keep coming up with new ones. It started with Nancy Pelosi when she called all of the Tea Party people AstroTurf. Then Harry Reid, he labeled people like you and me un-American. And then this actress, Janine Garofalo, oh, y'all heard that one. She called these Tea Party people teabagging racists that didn't like a black man being in the White House. Then some of my ex-liberal friends called me Uncle Tom. Some of my ex-Democrat friends called me sellout. And then I was on the radio one night and a guy calls up and he says, Mr. Cain. I said, yes, sir. You are shameless. I said, excuse me, sir. What do you mean I'm shameless? It is shameless that you as a black man, this is the way he sounded, I'm not making this up. It is shameless that you as a black man would disagree with our black president. I said, sir, this may be difficult for you to comprehend, but I am going to try. First of all, there are some black people in America, white people, brown people, who can think for themselves, and that includes me. I don't need somebody to think for me. And I said, the second thing, sir, that I hope you get, and you can comprehend, when we reach a point in this nation where we cannot criticize our elected leaders, we are no longer a democratic republic. We have become a tyranny. And we are not going to let that happen on our watch. And then I said, sir, have a happy life. Because they just want to call us names. They want to call us names because that's all they have left. And so this fight isn't going to end on November 2nd. It is going to continue. This is just the beginning. What's going on in Washington, D.C. by the political elites has awakened this sleeping giant called we the people of the United States. We the people of the United States. And when I get callers who will call up and say, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm mad, what can I do? I said, well, are you registered? Yes. Or do you vote consistently? Yes. All right, here's what you do. Go back and pick up the Declaration of Independence, and you know that part that says, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? You say, yes. Here's what you can do. Keep reading. Don't stop there. Because if you keep reading, it says, when any form of government becomes destructive of those ideals, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. We've got some altering and abolishing to do, and it is our right and our responsibility. That's what this is all about. And the words of the closing song of the 2000 Olympics reminds all of us that we can all do something. In that song, it says, look inside and you will find just what you can do. You can become better informed. You can stay united. You can stay inspired about what's going on. That's what we can all do. You can share information with other people. Do what you can do. And that's how we're going to take back our government, with all of us using our own individual energies, time, and talent to do what we can do to take back our government. Because as I've also reminded people, this isn't about us. We're going to be fine. This is about our children and our grandchildren. This is about our children and our grandchildren. Because my parents, your parents wanted to give us a little bit better start in life. We want to give our kids and grandkids a little bit better start in life. And I have been accused of being able to make rain, and now I have proof of it. Now you have the proof, Ed. It just makes him sick. But this is about our children and our grandchildren, giving them a little bit better start. I've got 2 grown kids and 3 grandkids. This is what this is about. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we're doing the bus tour and all of these other things. And let me close with one other thing that Dr. Mays used to remind us of, which is why this is the most critical election of our lifetime. You've heard that before, and it probably was true then, but it is also true now. The most critical election of our lifetime. Because America was at a crossroad on January the 20th of 2009 when Barack Obama and his liberal socialist people took over this country. The crossroads started then, and you see where that road is leading. We've now got to take it back. And now is the time, and now is the moment. And as Dr. Mays used to remind us, whatever it is you do in life, remember your life, my life, everybody's life. It's really just a minute. We don't have forever to do what we have to do. Dr. Mays reminded us that life is just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon you, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You must suffer if you lose it. Give an account if you abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternity is in it. We will take back our government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Brother Cain, by the way, listen, we have a good time. And let me just say, for years I've been a big fan of your pizza place, Domino's.